Welcome back to the season. We had to open up another new stream. So we're into the second part of qualifying. The timing is wrong on the leaderboard to what it is currently. I think we're about 3 minutes into Q2. So do bear that in mind. We lost at the end of Q1, we lost Cynix, we lost Hamster, we lost Jay Hartnell, we lost Aidan Gray and Emil at the end of that. So there are the Ferraris. I've just seen some times on the board already. There's Big Boy with a lap on the board. 1 minute 17.1 on the softs, and it's MDG in second in the Williams on a 1 minute 17.2. Then it's Teddy in third on a 1:17.4. Bruges fourth on the mediums, 1:17.6. Dangle in fifth on a 1:17.7. Weatherman Harry in sixth on a 1:17.7. Also, Scotty 7th on the soft compound, 1:17.7. Dean in 8th on a 1:17.8. Flicks 9th on a 1:18.0. And Jovis with a non-representative, 1 minute 21.8. You've seen Rabico going over the line for 4th position on the mediums. So Martin in the Alfa Romeo coming round towards the end of his first time lap in this Q2 session. And it's 4th fastest for him, 1:17.4. Rearing open on Scotty's car. 200s up. Then Scotty 700s up by set 2. He's approaching turn 14. An ultimate turn before he goes through the sweeping right-hander at 15 to finish off the lap. He's coming into the pits actually, so that's that lap over. There's Albie, who's behind Dean at the moment. Just got to hope he doesn't get held up through here. He may get a bit of a tow on the pit straight. And Albie goes 4th on a 1:17.4. That's a very good lap time on the mediums for the Alfa Romeo pilot. Colin through set to 1:21.9. It's a good time actually on the mediums. Jaihu, the only other driver who is yet to post a lap in Q2 so far. So Colin, who's not had the best of starts to his campaign. And he's missed 2 races this season, Zandvoort and Budapest. He finished 9th in China but didn't finish in Silverstone. Way down in the championship, so this is a chance for him to claw some of that back. Colin in the Mercedes, and getting caught out on the curve there. Goes over the line. It's a 16.9 for him, 1:16.9 for the Mercedes pilot. Jaihu in the Haas. Around about 7 minutes remaining in Q2. Not 10 minutes 15 seconds in case you're wondering, because we arrived in the second part of qualifying late. There is a glitch within the game itself, unfortunately, so we can only apologise. So Jaihu coming round in the Haas. And this is going to be, I think, a 1 minute 17 here. It's a 1:17.5, only good enough for 10 fastest, so he's on the bubble at the moment. Flicks has begun another fast lap. I'm just looking to see where Droftus is at the moment. He's going through turn 4, so we'll go to him in a moment. Dean way down through sector 2, so he's not actually going faster. There's Flicks, trying to improve, but he's backed off the pace, so we'll go to Droftus. Coming out of turn 8. So he's 4 seconds up from before. He did his earlier time on the soft compound, did the Ferrari pilot. He really wants to get into the race on the mediums. Is he finding enough time through the course of this lap though? Now to be in the top 10 you need to be a minimum of 1:17.5. He goes 5th. And Flicks. He's coming through the first sector now. He's 2 tenths up from before. That's good news for him. So the bottom 5 at the moment are Jaihu, Dan, Harry, Scotty and Flicks. And Flicks succeeded shut limits unfortunately at turn 8, so that's that lap over. So Dan's about to start a fast lap now. Around about 4.5 minutes remaining. And Dan running wide there at turn 5. So he's not going to be on an improvement, I wouldn't have thought. We'll stay with him just in case he does, though. If that was in real life Formula 1, that lap time would have probably been invalidated, but it's the Formula 1 game at the end of the day, not real life Formula 1. Is it going to be in the 51s by sector 2? It is, it's a 51.9, so Dan definitely going significantly quicker here than he did so on the mediums. It's probably looking good to be around about a 1 minute 17.1, I would have thought. That's a good drive coming out of 14. Through 15, no problem. And the start time for Dan is a 1 minute 16.9. Goes fastest of all. That's a nice lap there for Dan. Martin through sector 1 instead 10.5 up from before. So this is looking like a good lap for him. He's sitting in 9th. And on the bubble, I would have thought Bruce, Jaihu and Flicks will go faster than before. They'll probably have to sacrifice a race start on the mediums to get through into Q3 on the softs. Of course, if they do get knocked out in Q2, they'll have a free choice of tyre to start the race on, should it be dry, of course. Now, I didn't see Martin's time through the second sector. I'll look back on the stream and see what it actually was. He's a 10.5 up from before, so I think Martin's probably looking at around 1 minute 17.2 here. Even better than that, 1:17.0 for Martin, so he goes 3rd with that time. Who else is on a fast lap? Well, Jaihu has just started the lap now. Scotty at the moment going better than before, 4 tenths up by sector 2. He's looking good to get out of the bottom 5. So Scotty over the line, 7th fastest for him, 1:17.2. That pushes Rabico into the drop zone, but he's going quicker than before on this lap. Harry's on a fast lap. Jaihu slightly down from before through sector 1. Now Rabico over the line he comes, and it's a 1 minute 16.7. It goes top. So that's him through on the soft compounds. Bruges, his current lap time is invalidated, so I think that could be his qualifying session over, unfortunately for him. So Jaihu coming up towards the Alfa Romeo should be okay, actually. He's coming around now. Albi is on the bubble at the moment. Jaihu coming over the line now. And he goes up to 5th place. Nearly half a second up from before. 1 minute 17.1 for him. Albi started the flying lap. Harry over the line goes 7th. 1:17.1. That pushes Droftus into the drop zone. And he's out of qualifying. So Droftus, yet again, knocked out in Q2. That's another shocker. He gambled to get through on the mediums and it didn't pay off for him. Flicks, his lap time's invalidated, so he won't be going any further. The checker flag is out as well, so we'll be losing both Alpines. Albi's on a fast lap. Scotty's just finished his final flying lap. So it'll be either Albi or Scotty taking the last elimination place, along with Droftus, Henke, Bruges and Flicks. Albi 2/10 up from before. At the moment, it's very much touch and go whether he can get into Q3. He needs, ideally, a 1 minute 17.1. He's coming out of the penultimate turn now through the sweeping right-hander before he crosses over the start-finish line. Albi over the line, 1:16.9, goes third. He is through. Scotty, yet again, the reigning champion, is eliminated before Q3. So we've lost the reigning champion and we've lost the championship leader, both lining up on the 6th row. We've also lost Henke in the Mercedes, and then the 2 Alpines of Bruges and the other Alpine of Flicks. So MDG getting through on the mediums. So the drivers getting through on the mediums, they are Colin, Dean and MDG. MDG doing very well to get through on the 1:17.2, only getting through by a couple of thousandths of a second. That's how close it was. So Rabico once again fastest. The 5 drivers you can see in red, they are Scotty, Droftus, Henke, Bruges and Flicks. They won't be taking any further part in qualifying. The top 10 will. We'll be back for the final part of qualifying to see who will be on pole. Here we go then for Q3. Thankfully, we don't need to be leaving the lobby. or even putting up a new broadcast this time. So we've got 2 Alfa Romeos, 2 Aston Martins, 2 Haas's, a Williams, a Mercedes, a McLaren, and a Ferrari fighting it out for pole. And we've got one of the Alfa Romeos heading out. That'll be Martin, going for another pole position. Now, trying to remember all of what happened in last season. Martin in the championship in season 2. It was quite a late entry actually. He ended up 12th overall. Well, sorry, it's not 12th actually, it's 14th, but still a decent effort considering it was a late entry. He's shown some promising pace since he's arrived in the CDR. We've got 9 drivers on circuit now. Colin just coming out of the pits. Rabico just waited in there. He was probably go for a gap in the traffic. So Martin will go on board for a lap with him. Get the telemetry up as well. And then we'll go through how he tackles this lap. So, using the ERS and the DRS on the pit straight, down to what looks to be 5th gear for him through turn 1. And then through turn 2 nicely. Brakes in the straight line for 3. Wasn't the smoothest line through that. And they go through turn 4, which can easily catch the drivers out. Crucial to time the upshift. And then on the outside for turn 5. Nailing the apex very, very nicely. Gets a good exit through turn 6. Decelerate through 7. And you brake down to what looks to be 3rd gear for him through 8. And he comes down through turns 9, there's a small kink of 10, and you brake for 11. 4th gear it is through there for him. Oh, he's exceeded track limits unfortunately, so Martin will have to go again. He'll want to conserve as much of his ERS as possible. So we'll go to MDG, who's coming through turn 14. So Martin coming into the pits. MDG over the line, 1 minute 16.9. That's not the fastest time we've seen throughout qualifying, but good enough to put into the top. Bear in mind, he is the first driver to set a lap time. Dean next exceeds that, 1:16.7 for him. Alpi's next over the line, 1:16.7, so less than a tenth away from pole, provisional pole. Big Boy going 4th on a 1:17.1. Harry's next behind. How is he getting on here? It's a 1:17.0, goes 4th, so he displaces Big Boy. Jaihu is next in the other Haas. Over the line he comes, 1:17.2, slowest of all the drivers who have set a lap time. Colin next, just coming out of turn 14. And he's got turn 15 to get through. Rabico coming out on circuit now. Colin over the line, and it's a 1:16.3. More than 3.5 tenths up on Dean's lap time. There's still Rabico to come as well. Dan is coming through sector 2. 52.1 he has posted by this stage of the lap. Now Dan, I would imagine he'll want to try and get into the top 5 here. If he's going to do that, he needs a 1 minute 16. I'm not sure he's got the pace to get into the 1 minute 16s here. 1:17.1, only good enough for 6th place. Big Boy in the pits. So there's Colin, who will be making his way back into the pit lane. Rabico will be beginning his fast lap shortly. It's his first flying lap. He's got enough time to do another flying lap after this one. That's for sure. So he comes round turn 15. And Rabico, how does he tackle turn 1? I would imagine he'll attack it more aggressively than what Marta did earlier. He had to lift off us after he caught the curb there. A good line through turn 3. Through 4. And you've got the first sector coming up, which should be in the high 21s for him. And it is in the high 21s, 21.9. Avoids the curb so he can get a good exit. Through turn 7. On the outside for 8. Turns in smoothly in 3rd gear. Through 9, no problem. And then on... Oh, he didn't turn in very well. I think that might have been a glitch with the game itself. It's on a 51.6 so far. So I would say he's only going to be good enough to be on the front row, but in P2 is Rabico. Now the McLaren is crossing over the line now. It's a 1:16.5, so good enough to put him on the front row, but not on pole. Martin on a 51.9 through sector 2. So he's looking reasonably good to get into the top 5 at the moment. Definitely into the 1:16s. He approaches the start-finish line now, and this lap time of his is a 1:17.0, so he is in 6th place, but not in the 1:16s as he desired. Rabico not on the fast lap at the moment. The next driver to start a flying lap is MDG. He's gone now, look, so he's gone through turn 1. 5th at the moment for MDG. So far in the championship, the man who finished runner-up last season, he's only 14th with 12 points on the board. He's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so may as well come away from him. Dean also exceeding track limits. So who's the next driver to start a flying lap? That'll be Jaihu, who's only just coming into turn 3. So we've got quite a bit of wait before the next driver begins what could be their last attempts. Jaihu coming round to start his final attempt. And Big Boy is not going out for another run. He might have used up all of his tyres for this session. Dan has also started the flying lap, so we come to him after Jaihu's lap is done. Jaihu 22.1, which is nearly a 10th up from before. Then through turns 7 and 8. And I think Rabico has also given up the fight for pole. So Collins' place on pole position is looking more and more likely. Jaihu just needs to improve really from where he is right now. 51.9 through sector 2, a couple of tenths up, so at least he's looking reasonably good to get into the 1 minute 16s, possibly up to 6th place ahead of Martin. Jaihu over the line, 1 minute 16.9, goes 6th. So he's into the 1 minute 16s. Dan is next in the Ferrari. Doesn't improve, only 9th for the Ferrari driver. And Albie, his lap time's been invalidated. Jaihu, not sure if he is on another flying lap. I wouldn't blame him if he is. I think he may well be, actually. So Jaihu could be posting another lap time here. The only problem he's got 2 Aston Martins who are ahead of him on the road. One who is on a fine lap. Presumably that is Harry, who's just exceeded track limits. Dean behind him, who is on an out lap, and I think Jai has exceeded track limits as well, so he backs off. Now Dan, meanwhile, is trying to improve in the Ferrari. Got 20 seconds to go, so he will get over the line before the checker flag falls. I just wonder, has Dan got enough fuel to do this last run? He's over the line now, so he can do another run. Harry over the line to start one more attempt. The checker flag is out now. Colin is coming round. 3/10 faster than before. So could this be a time in the 1 minute 15 for the Merc? It is, you know. It's a 1:59. So Colin is now 6/10 adrift of his nearest rival in second place. That is a brilliant lap time from Colin. He'll be very, very pleased with that. We'd look to see how the others are getting on. MDG, meanwhile, is 3/10 up from before through sector 2. He could go to third position, maybe even second. He can find a little bit more time in sector 3. It's a 1:16.5, and he goes to the front row. That's a brilliant lap time from MDG. It's exactly what he needed in what's been a very difficult season for him so far. Martin's exceeded track limits, so he won't be improving. Albie is next behind. He could get a bit of a tow, actually, on the pit straight. Ooh, and Martin didn't quite see him in time. Albie does improve his lap time. Goes 5th. How are the others getting on, though? We've got Dan, who's on a flying lap in the Ferrari. 9th fastest. He really needs a strong lap here. It's going to be in the 1 minute 16s, I think. He goes up to 4th place. That's a big jump there for Dan. Very, very well done indeed. Dean backs off on his last attempt. So does Harry. And that is that. So Colin, in the Mercedes, is on pole position for the Portuguese Grand Prix in Tier 1 in the CDR. 6/10 ahead of everyone else. That's how quick he has been. Although Rabico did, but Colin found the time when it mattered most. It's a brilliant effort from him. So we're just waiting for the classification coming up. Colin will be happy on pole. MDG in a much improved second for Williams. He's got a chance of bagging a good haul of points in the race later on. There'll be no formation lap. It's straight to lights out for the start of this 33 lap Portuguese Grand Prix. So your top 10 is as follows. Colin on pole ahead of MDG. Then it's Rabico and Dan making up row 2. Then it's Dean and Albie on the 3rd row. Jaihu and Martin on next on row 4. Harry and Big Boy rounding out the top 10. Qualifying is over. Now we go on to the race. We'll be back very shortly for that. So it's more overcast here in Portimao. I don't know if rain will be on the way later. We do have a few of the drivers in the top 10 starting on the mediums. That's something that is worth looking out for. Can Colin get off the line well? Rabico needs to claw back that 21-point gap of which Droftus has built up from Silverstone. So here we go for the start of this Portuguese Grand Prix. The 5 red lights will illuminate ahead of the drivers. Will Colin lead the field into turn 1, or will it be MDG who will react better? So we should be going to the grid, really. Don't know why it's not doing that. Don't know if the race has already started, so someone may need to fill me in on that. So yeah, it seems to have glitched at the moment, so someone needs to update me what's happening. Yeah, and I think it's the same with all the drivers actually as well. So I think a new lobby is going to be set up. So what that could mean is this broadcast may have to be brought to an end prematurely and open up a new one. So we're going to come out of this. I'm just going to leave a bit of time for the lobby host to take note who is starting where and what tyres they are starting the race on. So the top 10, you've got Colin, MDG and Dean on the mediums. The rest of those in the top 10 on the soft compound. So the grid order is as follows. Colin and MDG alongside Robico and Dan on row 2. Dean and Albie next ahead of Jaihu and Martin. Harry and Big Boy round out the top 10. It's Scotty and Droftus next ahead of Teddy and Bruges. Flix and Cynix are next behind ahead of Hamster, Hartnell, Gray and Emil. So the race, this is not the race. A lot of the drivers have already left the session anyway. So a new lobby is going to be set up. So we just wait for the lobby host to send me an invite so I can come in. Right, it seems to be taking a bit of an age, actually, in terms of joining the lobby. So what I'm going to have to do is close the game and the broadcast will end. So I'll be opening up another new stream for the drivers and, of course, the audience to tune in. So we'll be back in a moment, very shortly.